So here we have 10 cheap fragrances that smell super expensive. And of course, I'm not using the word cheap as a pejorative. I just mean inexpensive, right? So I mean it in its denotative meaning. Of course, all of these do come across as high quality, but they are on the affordable side of things, which I think we can all use nowadays. I'm excited to share this list with you in just a moment, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I tell you about these 10 inexpensive or cheap fragrances that smell expensive, I'll tell you what they smell like, if they're clones, if they're originals, so on and so forth. But before I begin the video, I do want to mention that if you like this type of content here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. So I know those of you who have been watching my channel, you probably already know that there is a perfume convention happening on December 1st and 2nd in person and virtual. It's called Scent Explore. I have attended every single year, and of course I'm going to be in attendance in Manhattan this year as well. There's a very special fragrance that is being launched in collaboration with Scent Explore 2023. It was creatively directed by myself and Max Forti. He is basically the brains and the mastermind behind Scent Explore. It's a limited edition fragrance. Only 500 have ever been made. They are numbered, so there's a plaque that tells you what number you have of the 500. It's a one-time thing. As soon as it sells out, it's not going to be manufactured again. And I want to share who the perfumer is for this fragrance. So the perfumer is actually Chris Maurice, or Christian Carbonell. And he has done so many fragrances for Xerjoff. He has composed fragrances for so many different brands. But of course, many of you know him and his really strong, high-quality fragrances for Xerjoff. And he's a personal friend of mine, and I met up with him in person many times before, both in Atlanta, Georgia, and in Spain on a number of occasions, in Barcelona, which is where he's situated. And this fragrance that we're coming out with, it's inspired by a gentleman's lounge. It's inspired by just being in a setting or an environment where everybody feels welcome. And of course, that's what Scent Explorer is intended to be. It has boozy notes, it has aged whiskey, it has Maduro tobacco, it has hay, it has a lot of really beautiful warm ingredients. There's of course leather in the dry down as well, so it's very dressed up, very grown up, very sophisticated, very luxurious, and it smells super expensive. And I think it's also worth mentioning that it's the second most expensive fragrance that Navitus Parfum has ever manufactured. If you want to be among the first, or if you want to secure your bottle, because like I said, there's only 500, I'm going to leave both of the mailing list down below. Make sure to subscribe so that you can be among the first to know when this fragrance drops. The first fragrance I want to talk about on this list is Rosewood Amore by Banana Republic. So this is basically their version of Barakat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Highly inexpensive. I'm going to drop all of the links down below to make it convenient for you. This has that sort of ethyl maltal cotton candy vibe. It has that earthiness, the oak moss, it has the ambroxan, it has that sugary quality that you can expect from Barakat Rouge, and it's very well done. The only thing I would say is that Barakat Rouge, or at least the initial one, not the extrait, it gives you better performance than this fragrance. The next one I want to talk about is called Laventure Knight. This is Al Haramain's version of Green Irish Tweed by Creed, and they did a wonderful job with this one, and I gotta give them props for it. I think, they really blew it out of the water. And, of course, there's Trenuit by Armaf, and, there's so many other Green Irish Tweed variants on the market. Laventure Knight is one that's been my favorite now for many years, and there's a lot of really good ones. Of course, another one that smells like Barakat Rouge 540 is Barakat Rouge 540, and this one is by Fragrance World. This is an obvious knockoff, and you can see the chandelier in the back too. I mean, the presentation is really nice. I mean, if you look at it from a distance, you think I'm holding Barakat Rouge, and it smells exactly like it. I would say this one is a heck of a lot stronger than Rosewood Amore, and oh my goodness, this one is incredibly inexpensive. It's funny, in a previous video where I featured it, I said it was around the $40 price point that I found it for on Amazon, because I purchased it with my own money. It's actually closer to 20 bucks. So if you want a $20 alternative to Barakat Rouge, incredible longevity, and it smells very similar to it, check it out. Of course, there's also Cuba Prestige. This one smells like Angel for Men by Thierry Mugler. So it's sweet, it has that gourmand appeal, it has the ethyl maltal, it has the patchouli, it has the vanilla, the caramel. It's really well done. Here you have one by Zara. This one is called Stormy Day, and I've had this for a while. I'm inclined to say that the liquid got a little bit darker, I guess through the maceration process or the oxidation process and whatnot. So Stormy Day, it smells very similar, now that I've thought about it, to Hugo Boss The Scent Private Accord, where it kind of has like this smooth, chocolatey, warm, ambery vibe. It's really, really good. Of course, this one has been around for ages now. This one is called Light Blue by Dolce & Gabbana. This is a women's version, right? This one to me smells a lot like Aqua Fiorentina by Creed. I've mentioned that on my channel before. If you want to walk around telling people you're wearing a Creed, you can easily wear this one and you can pull it off that way. But I really do enjoy Light Blue, and I think it's a staple in many, many ways. The next one, Chilling by the Pacific by the Dua brand. This one is their version of Pacific Chill. Tons of citrus, tons of mint. This one is very fresh, uplifting. Of course, this is a summertime type of a fragrance, but at the same time, if you're wearing it in a climate-controlled environment, it just gives off this very safe, casual vibe. And I would personally wear it any season, but I do think it's catered a little bit more towards the hotter weather. Of course, we also have one that I recently reviewed. I don't know which video is going to get published first though. By Dossier, it's called Ambery Cherry. So this is their take on Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. Cherry, vanilla, plum, almonds, stuff is amazing. Great for this time of the year. And of course, Dossier products are quite accurate to the original, but they're also highly, highly inexpensive. Of course, when it comes to Dua fragrances, they are a lot more expensive in terms of the fragrances that they recreate. So they're not recreating a designer like Dior Sauvage, but they're recreating a Rouge à Parfum that's like $1,000. But I love how with a lot of the Duas, they still manage to keep it in the $33 price point. So all things considered, they are highly inexpensive in a way that is comparable to Dossier, and the performance is better too. It's Extrait de Parfum, so you know what you're getting with it. We also have, and I think it's worth mentioning this one, another Dua. This one, Smoked Hotness, is actually their take on the brand new Kilian fragrance, which is Smoking Hot, which is inspired by Argile or hookah or shisha or whatever you want to call it. And I've owned a number of hookah pipes in the past. I don't do that stuff anymore, but this one, if you can imagine, it is done really, really well. And I did a first impression of Smoking Hot, and now that I have this in my collection, perhaps I'm not going to purchase Smoking Hot anytime soon. So this one is awesome. It really brings it so close to the original. And of course, with that being said, we have the fragrance in the #1 spot, just because I enjoy wearing it. These are in no particular order. They're not in order of price or accuracy or how expensive they smell, but apparently this was made for a member of the royal family. I think it was Saudi Arabia, and it was made for his entire court. So of course, this is a Creed inspiration, and the fragrance that it's inspired by is Millésime Imperial. This is Armaf Milestone, Club de Nuit Milestone. This one smells like Millésime Imperial. It's bright, it's citrusy, it has that salted watermelon appeal that people talk about, and I think this one is incredibly well done. I wear this one so often, and I actually ran out of Millésime Imperial, and so I haven't worn the real Millésime Imperial in years, I want to say, but I've been wearing this in its place, and I'm not really missing anything. This one smells amazing. By Armaf, Club de Nuit Milestone. Hey, thanks for watching. 10 cheap fragrances that smell expensive. And of course, the fragrances that they're inspired by also vary in terms of price point. Like you can find a bottle of Amen online for a pretty inexpensive price tag, but if you're looking for Barakat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, you're not going to find the authentic product for that cheap of a price, right? So anyway, thanks for watching. What is your favorite? What are some that you like to wear as an alternative to more expensive fragrances? Drop your comment down below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to the respective mailing lists so that you could be among the first to discover this limited edition fragrance that was made in collaboration with Navitus Parfum and Scent Explorer. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.